All right, guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another live stream. We are going to be doing the Romero versus Teofimo Lopez fight, plus two of the undercards, starting with this fight, which is Victor Santillan versus Gary Russell. Now, I don't know about you guys. I did watch the fight before this. 97-93 seems ridiculous to me. I thought it was you could have swayed at 96, 94 either way. I wouldn't have had a problem, to be honest with you. I don't particularly care who won the fight. I think the 97-93 was disgraceful. To say that he only won 3 rounds is fucking pathetic. I think 95-95 probably would have made most people happy. But anyway, what can you fucking do? We're not in charge, are we? We get these other fucking dickheads in charge. Why is the chat not working? That's what I would like to know. Let's see if we can fix that up before this fight starts. I know people like to get in the chat and we can discuss things, so if we can fix that up, that would be great. Or maybe not. Maybe we fucking won't. That works as well, I guess. Fuck, that's the wrong one. This is the one we got to fix up. Bang. Clear that. There we go. Cool. All right. Chat is working. Fight about to start. I do think Russell wins this. I'm split. I don't know whether I think he stops him or whether he just gets the decision. I'm going back and forth, and I probably. Why is that not? Fuck. All right. I gotta fix one thing up before we start. Or else this computer is going to fucking die whilst we're doing this. Give me one moment. All right, problem solved. Glad I fucking noticed that before we started, or else my computer would have just fucking died during this. But, like I was saying, Gary Antonio Russell, Victor Santillan, KO or decision. I am split. I can't quite decide how I believe this is going to go. Probably closer to the decision than I am the KO. He's just so good, eh? Antonio Russell is just so good. All right, hopefully we are working, we are live, everything is good. Make sure that you do like the video and you do subscribe. It does help a whole heap. And yeah, we should have an enjoyable night here. Day, wherever you are in the world. For me, it is 11:24. So I spent most of the night watching Premier League last night. I don't know if you guys follow, but Manchester United getting pummeled by Hull. All right, shit. Let's start this fucking timer, which I always forget to start. Because we are underway, so apologies on that. Let me just make sure we are kind of in line here. Just about. There we go. Cool. All right. We're right. We're going to score this bastard as we go. So if you agree with me, disagree with me, let me know in the chat and we'll score it as we go. Good jabs to the body early here from Antonio Russell. Misses a right check hook though. Uppercut from Santillan misses as well. Big left hand there from Santillan misses and he gets countered to the body. Santillan really thrown a lot into these punches early, but he's missed them all by an absolute mile. double right hand upstairs from Gary Antonio Russell. Double jab there from Russell. Tell you what, I'm so excited for Rolly versus Teo. So excited. This is one of those fights where I do think it's a 50-50, but my opinion on who wins has never really changed. You know, when we were going into the fight between, I'm just trying to think of a good example. The fight between, you know, Xander Zayas and Boots, I was sort of back and forth thinking, most of the time I was thinking Boots, but then I was like, oh, fuck, Zayas might actually do this. Boots is smaller, and by the end I said, nah, Boots will win this fight and he'll probably stop him. I've never once thought Rolly beats Teofimo Lopez. I've continuously said in the lead up to this fight that Teofimo Lopez wins this fight. Rolly Romero has a small chance in my mind, and that small chance is to stop Teo. But I still think it's a really, really close fight. Saying how I feel about the fight and who I think is going to win it, I've never actually felt as though it would go any other way than Teo winning. Like, there was never a voice in my head that says, fuck, I actually think Rolly might do it, or fuck, let's chuck $50 on Rolly because he might do it. I haven't felt that way. And so many times when I feel that way, I will chuck like a cheeky $20 on somebody and say, look, let's ride it out. I don't think they'll win, but they're the underdog. There's a possibility. Let's run it. Let's see what happens. Whereas today, I'm sort of coming into this fight and saying, it's really Teo's fight to lose. All right, first round done. Pretty standard first round. We'll give it to Russell. I just think he did the better work. Reset that. Round 2. They've changed the fucking graphics on my scorecard thing. Right, I haven't changed the graphics. It just, when I got onto it today to do it, they were changed. I don't know if I like it or not. But I can't be fucked to change it. It is so hard to find, like, for OBS. I don't know what OBS is. OBS is the sort of software that you use to stream. On OBS, it's so hard to find something that, like, looks like that for boxing. Like, this is actually a basketball scorecard because there's no, like, boxing MMA ones. And most of them are made for, like, the soccer or the NFL or something. So, like, you have to fucking... They've got stuff that you don't want on there, or you don't need, like a team list or something. Round 2 underway. Yeah, I've just never really felt it would go any other way. But let me know your thoughts. I put a poll up for you all to give a prediction. So by the time the fight comes up, we'll know who's everybody's picking. Whether you think it's going to be Rolly, Teo, and what method they're going to go. I could have added retirement or something else in there, but I just thought I'd keep it simple. You either think a decision or a stoppage. That stoppage could be TKO, KO, retirement, throw the flag in. That probably also counts for being fouled out of the fight. You know, the referees. You know, I can't think of the fucking word. I'm having a fucking cloudy brain moment here. What word am I looking for? When a ref like takes you out of the fight because you fouled too many times. The word escapes me at the moment, but you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean. I'm sure it'll come to me when I don't need it. Gary Anton Russell really putting a lot into these big left hands here. And quite a bit of clinch activity as well. He's trying to get in close and make it a little bit messy than I thought. Nice stiff jab, though, from Gary Antonio Russell. Man, we got a great month of boxing coming up. Like, we got this fight here. Fight card today, sorry. Next week, Moses Otalma versus Filipovic. And then in 3 weeks or so, we've got Ryan Garcia versus Conor Benn, which I'm fucking pumped for, eh? I think I can't see Conor Benn versus Ryan Garcia not being an absolute thriller. I think it'll be a top quality slugfest. I think both of these guys will go ham. And you know what? what way it goes, I'm not going to let you know because I will be making breakdowns and previews and I'll put my prediction in there. But it's a close fight. And I might be tilting towards an upset. Maybe. But when we do the breakdown, I'll reveal all. If you haven't already, I did a breakdown on the channel for Teofimo Lopez and Romero, and gave my final prediction and everything in there. If you haven't checked it out, well, it's a bit late now, but make sure you are subscribed so you can check out the future breakdowns and previews. I should really try and get my shit together so I can get a Moses Talman versus Filip Hrgovic one done for this week. I completely forgot about it because if it is next weekend, which I think it is, yeah, I've fallen a bit behind here. And I've got a few fucking shit days at work this week, so we'll have to wait and see. Nikita Zoo also fights this week on Wednesday. I know some people were asking for a breakdown on that one. I just don't think it's going to happen. Like I said, I'm just fucking very, very busy. Very, very busy at the moment. That was the end of round 2. The corner of Gary Antonio Russell, not very happy with him possibly rushing what he's doing. He's not being patient enough. He's searching for the KO early, from what I can hear. It's a bit mumbly. Saw a heap of people complaining about the DAZN sound this morning, as though people couldn't actually get the noise. For me, it's been working. I have noticed the past few fight cards on DAZN. Like I remember when I was doing, like watching the Xander Zayas fight, there was like a constant fucking ringing from the commentary and it would drop out. So I don't know what the fuck DAZN are doing with the commentary and the noise stuff, but they've got to fix it up. There was another fight that I watched. I can't even remember who it was. It was the night that Terence Crawford, Sean Porter, and who else was on there? There was somebody else. They had a pretty good lineup doing sort of the punditry. It might have been Tim Bradley. Doing the commentary from sort of the crowd, and they kept chucking over to him. And every time they spoke, you couldn't fucking hear a word. So I don't know what DAZN are doing with the sound, but they got to fix that shit up. Pretty cagey affair so far. It's very sort of very even. I've got it 2 rounds so far to Russell, but I think you could easily justify 1 round apiece. I think Santillan was very competitive in that second round, more so than the first round. I think the first round was definitely Russell's round, but the second round was very, very close, and you could have threw it either way. I threw it towards Russell, but hey, if you threw it the other way, fair enough. Santillan, I think, just needs to go for it a little bit more. I think he's been a bit standoffish, and he's throwing these big punches from so far out. Like that one there, that right hand he just threw. He's not close enough to be throwing that punch. You're missing and you're getting countered. I think he needs to step in a little bit more before throwing it. Gary Antonio Russell's not exactly in the middle of the ring at that point either. He's up against the rope, so just try and close it. As I say that, a big right hand there from Gary Antonio Russell misses by a mile. Santillan ducks underneath it, and we go into a clinch. If there's anything you guys want to discuss, make sure you chuck it in the chat and we can talk about whatever you want. Doesn't have to be boxing, it can be absolutely anything, but keep it appropriate. It's a family friendly show here. Oh, nice left hand there on the break from Gary Antonio Russell. Santillan's probably been the more active, and he's controlling the ring and he's being aggressive, but the person landing the cleaner shots for me is Russell at the moment. Even though that they are few and far between compared to the amount of action I think from Santillan, he's making sure everything lands. Whereas Santillan, a lot of his punches have been missing. Like look at that, a double right hook, one to the body, one upstairs. Santillan lands a right hand of his own. But I'm probably tilting towards giving this round to Santillan based off the aggression. But he has been hit with quite a few clean shots, so we might just end up throwing it to Russell. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Sorry, I forgot to start the timer. I do apologize. I'll try and remember for this round. Don't know how I fucked that one up. Was there a UFC card going on today? I don't even know who was fighting on the UFC today. I thought I saw something that they were fighting today. Anthony Hernandez versus Gregory Rodriguez. I'd say Anthony Hernandez wins that fight. I made quite a lot of money off Anthony Hernandez's last fight when he lost to Strickland. I think people were forgetting how good Strickland can be. Reina Dorita beat Roman Dolidze round 1 KO. Fuck, I hate watching Reina Dorita. I think he's such a boring person to watch anyway. Who did he get his ass handed to? Brandon Allen. That was a fun night. That was a funny night. Shit. I said I'd start the timer and I still forgot. Let's get that fixed up. Anybody know what the tattoo on the back of Gary Antonio Russell means? Where are we at? 2:30. Let's take a few more seconds off this clock so it isn't lying. Yeah, it's not often that I do live streams on this channel, guys. I do apologize. I know I say a lot of the time I want to do more streams on it. It's just life gets in the way. I'm sure you guys know life gets in the way, and when this isn't what I do full time, it makes it even harder. At least with the pre-records, I can do it on my time. This like takes a few hours out of my day, and if I'm working like I do some Sundays, and you know, you sometimes it's also hard because of where I live. You know, I can't be fucking yelling and screaming at 5 a.m. whilst watching Moses Atama fight next weekend. You know, like shit like that, which is really annoying. I do really need to move to a better place. But for my job, this is where I'm at. But hey, we get through. I like this aggression from Santillan. Oh, the ref giving a warning. The ref not happy with the amount of holding from Santillan. I think they're both holding. I think they're both holding. I don't know why he's given Santillan the warning there. This is why at the start of the fight I said I'm tempted to say Russell by a decision, because at the moment you're not seeing him really do anything that will garner him a KO. I haven't seen him really sit on any punches or hunt for it. He looks pretty content at the moment of just picking him off, making it a hard night and winning a decision. 40 seconds odd left of this round. Oh, great body work there from Gary Antonio Russell. Probably hit him with about 6 or 7 shots to the body there. A few right hooks and then followed it up with a left hook right at the end. I love a good body hunter. Underutilized tool in boxing, I swear. So many boxers you say, what? Why do you not go to the body? Why do you just neglect the body? Why are you versing a tall fighter and you're just neglecting the body? Why are you versing a mover and you're just neglecting the body? Fucking confuses this shit out of me. This scorecard seems really harsh. Doesn't it? 40-36, 4 rounds to nil so far. But it's not a dominant performance. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like he's winning the rounds, but it's not dominance. It's a bit of, I don't know. It's a bit. They're competitive, but they're not ultra competitive. Like they're pretty nothing rounds. Both guys are in them, but you're probably saying Gary Antonio Russell is snatching them like that round there. You got to also take into note the fact that the referee warned Santillan. The judges look at that. The judges say you're getting warned. You know, you're getting fouled. You're getting this. You're getting that. it plays in their mind, and then they say, we're giving the round to the other guy because obviously he's doing something wrong. That's why he's being warned. Whether that's right or wrong, it's probably not, because for me, Santillan shouldn't have even been warned then, because for me, Gary Antonio Russell's the one holding on. All right, round 5 underway. I think we're going to go all 12 in this fight, if I'm being honest. I'd be very surprised if this gets stopped at any point. If Russell starts sitting on these punches, yeah, fair enough. I know he's ripping to the body. That could have late impact, but the fact is, we're now into 5 rounds in, and although he's ripping to the body, I haven't seen Santillan really grimace at any of those punches yet. Right, I need to change that setting. Is there any fights that you guys are hoping to get made before the end of the year? Like, I know lots of people are back and forth on this AJ thing. We're either doing it or we're fucking not. At the end of the day, we're either seeing AJ versus Tyson Fury or we're fucking not. I'm sick of this fucking dilly-dallying around. At the end of the day, sign the fucking thing. Let's get it on. And by the way, I'm actually more on the Eddie Hearn and AJ side of, why the fuck are we doing this at MSG in New York? Like, this is an English super fight. It needs to be in England. I think it's pathetic. I think it is fucking pathetic. Like, I guarantee you, if it was, I'm just trying to think of a good example, right? Of right now, who's in boxing right now that would be a big fight. Let's say it was Ryan Garcia versus Devin Haney 2. We're gonna take that to Wembley Stadium. Yeah, fucking right. Yeah, fucking right. So I don't understand why it works the same way the other way. You know what I mean? Anyway, like, if you want neutral ground, that's fucking England, because you're both fucking English. If you don't want to fight in England, I think it's poor on the fans. I think that they're the ones who miss out. Yeah, Shakur Tank. If Shakur versus Tank happened and they says, all right, we're gonna take this one to the O2, the US boxing fans would be fucking furious. And I can understand, oh, good counter there by Gary Antonio Russell. Bro, I don't even know what's going on with Tank. Tank's such a weird, like, good right hook to the body there from Gary Antonio Russell. And a big left hand to finish that round. It's another one of these competitive rounds where I think I like Santillan's aggression. I like that he's on the front foot. But who's landing the bigger punches? How you guys feel? I'm almost tempted to give that round to Santillan. How we feel? Yeah, we'll give it to Russell. I think it's harsh because I think Santillan's doing quite well in this fight. Agreed, home turf matters. Tickets for the fight in New York City would be so high. Yeah, and I'm curious to know the reason why. Like, are we saying that the fight needs to be in New York City because they want to garner the US market as well? Is that the whole reason? Is the US, if they fight in the US, does that open the viewership up more worldwide? Because you know the US then would watch it. You know that the English are going to watch it regardless. For me, US prime time is much more watchable than UK. Like, if it's in the UK, I'm talking 5, 6, 7 a.m. US, well, it's right now. It's like 11, 12, 1, 2, depending on where they do it. They must be thinking, all right, let's try and get the viewership worldwide. Whereas I think you've got English fans there that are waiting around for 10 years to see this fight. It's finally going to happen, even though it's 10 years too late. And guess what? The English fans are the ones that miss out. I think it's fucking. I'd be fuming. I'd be absolutely fuming. Anyway. I do wonder. These are always weird fights. Good body work there from Santian. These are always weird fights to judge because are you a judge that prefers activity, aggression, or do you prefer that crispness, that accuracy, the more clinical punches of Russell? A good left hand there lands on the chin of Gary Antonio Russell. Just over a minute left of this round. Good jab there from Santian. Uppercut from Gary Antonio Russell. Good body work here from Santian to put Gary Antonio Russell in a corner. Another right hook to the body. I like this round from Santian. I think this is possibly his best round of the fight. He hasn't been poor for the fight, don't get me wrong. I think the scorecard doesn't reflect the competitive nature, but good round there from Santian. Like, I don't even think that was a close round. I think that was clearly a Santian round. Halfway through the fight. I wonder how Teofimo Lopez is viewed if he loses to Rolly tonight. Like, if you break down Teo's resume if he loses tonight, we're looking at, he's fought some good people, but you're almost saying, at what point does it become one great night against Vasily Lomachenko but lose every other big night? You know what I mean? It's sort of the same way that, like George Kambosos Jr. gets that great win over Teofimo Lopez, but that's about it. Teofimo Lopez, great win over Vasily Lomachenko, but lost to George Kambosos, got pummeled by Shakur Stevenson. And why the fuck is my stream stopped? What the fuck? That is so odd. Sorry, guys, and I'm going to have to fix this up. I don't know what has just happened. That's so weird. Sorry, guys, I don't know. Why the fuck are we back 12 minutes now? Are we live? 2 minutes 22 into round 7. Must be live. Sorry, guys, I've missed basically the first minute. Fuck! The first minute of this round, but all right, we should be fixed. Apologies. I don't know what just happened on that stream. Like, it just turned off. Like, the whole thing just switched off. Good left hand there from Russell. Right hook to the body there from Santian. Tries to go upstairs but misses. Quick hands there from Gary Antonio Russell. Been a bit of a soft round, this one. Santillan might just win this by being on the front foot because Russell's not throwing much. Every time Santillan gets close, they hold on. So there's not been a whole lot of output this round. Good right hand there from Russell, though. Right to the body as well from Russell. These last few power punches might just snatch him the round. Odd round. I think Santillan won basically most of that round, and then the more clinical punches came from Russell. Yeah, back to what we were saying about Teofimo Lopez, because my stream turned off, and then we fucking forgot where we were at. Teofimo Lopez. I think there's a lot riding on this fight. Obviously, he's had more than just those 3 fights, but for me, you have an excuse to lose to Shakur Stevenson. There is. There's always an excuse. It is Shakur Stevenson. But if you're at a point where you've had a few big fights, in those big fights, you've beaten Vasily, you've beaten Sandor Martin, but at the same time, you've lost to George Kambosos, you've lost to Shakur Stevenson in a just one-sided affair, and then you lose potentially by knockout to Rolly Romero, starting to fall into that category of, one great win or overrated. And I think Teofimo Lopez has so much more ability than that. I think Teofimo Lopez is such a skilled fighter. I think he's got so much talent and potential to be such a great fighter, but he has off nights, and I think the corner work is fucking dreadful. Senior's up there with one of the worst. Like, he's, I don't know, it's such a weird thing because every time it goes wrong, they seem so all over the place. They're arguing with each other, they're not listening to each other, and sometimes you just think, yeah, you know what I mean? Chris Mannix's scorecard is 70 to 63. I'm not sure about that one. Anyway. Yeah, I have it 1 round to Santillan and all the rest to Russell, and I think that's fair. I think it's a bit. Anyway. Ooh, some good body work there from Russell, then comes upstairs with a left check hook. Good left hand there from Russell as Santillan comes in and then rips twice to the body. Like, those were about 6 shoe shining shots. They're not massive shots, but he's being active. And then every time Santillan gets close, Russell just holds on, creates that distance again, and just makes it an awful night. And for the judges, I think Santillan needs to start walking in a bit more and just letting those hands fly. Because he's almost walking in, gets close, gets held onto, gets pushed back. And it's just over and over again. And when he doesn't just get held onto, he gets countered, then held onto, and then pushed back. Good rip to the body there from Gary Antonio Russell. I'd like to see what the stats are for this fight, because I can't imagine Santillan has landed a whole heap on Russell tonight. What did you guys think of Amanda Serrano yesterday? Anybody else think she lost? Anybody else know she lost? That was an odd fight. It was an odd fight. I think Serrano is more than fortunate to walk away with a win. Like, I didn't think she was great at all. I think she was overwhelmed for the majority of the first half of the fight. She won a few rounds at the end, but to say Serrano walked away outright winner, not for me. Not for me. I think Serrano's getting a little bit of judges' favoritism in that one. Gets to 50 wins. Like, let's be honest. Let's not get it wrong. Amanda Serrano was supposed to go in there yesterday and not just win, but get 50 wins, break the knockout record, and win handsomely. And she probably lost that fight on decision, but was handed it. So, and then you know what was more so even right? I think Serrano knew that wasn't her night. I think Serrano knew that she lost that fight, and I think the way that she spoke following the contest, saying, I don't have long left in this sport, and all of that sort of stuff along those lines, saying this could be my last fight. She knows. She knows that she was poor on that night and should have probably lost. And I think she knows that this, because it is one of the best women's boxing careers that you're going to see, right? And it's not disrespecting her in any way, shape, or form, but she is very lucky to walk away with a win yesterday, and I think she knows that this great career of hers is coming to an end. And you know, I think those 3 Katie Taylor fights take a lot out of her as well. At her age, I think those 3 fights took a lot out of her, and they would. A bit like Fury versus Wilder, you have these 3 amazing fights, and then you do lose something every time you step into that ring. And I think we've seen that from Serrano, and she's not stepping into the ring after 20 fights, she's stepping into the ring after 50 odd fights, and at her age. So, but on yesterday, Serrano lost. On yesterday, Serrano lost. Who the fuck had Santillan as the slight favorite? For me, this was always going to be Russell. It was just KO or decision, and I said decision. Maybe I'm looking at something completely different. Tell you, there hasn't been too many clean shots in this fight. Like, it hasn't been the most exhilarating of fights. It's probably why we're not really talking about the fight. It's probably why we're discussing basically everything apart from this fight. Because it's a lot of holding on, a lot of missed punches, a lot of blocked punches, a few good clinch shots from Gary Antonio Russell, but that's about it. Bit like that. One-off shots from each fighter. Double jab to the body there from Santillan. Gary Antonio Russell holds on. It's such a weird fight because we have so many different shutouts in the world of boxing, don't we? You have the Shakur Stevenson shutting out Teo type shutout, or you have a shutout like this where you've pretty much given every single round to Russell minus maybe 1 or 2, but it's not dominance. Not dominance at all. It's not dominance at all. Three rounds left of this contest. Santillan has to get a knockout to win this fight. Russell's just going to win a decision. At the end of the day, that's neither of these two are getting a knockout in this fight. I'm very, very intrigued. Shit, I haven't started the timer. Let's get that started. I gotta figure out a better way to do this. Anyway, for another day. I'm very intrigued to see how Yonli Hernandez does today. I think he's a newish name. Lots of people don't really know too much about Yonli Hernandez. He's quality. He's top quality. I tell you right now, Yonli Hernandez is top fucking quality. And I think he's going to be a problem for everybody at middleweight. And I think you're going to see that tonight. I'm glad he gets this occasion, a big card, co-main event, Rolly Romero versus Teofimo Lopez to show how good he is. And I'm intrigued to call it. I think I went Yonli Hernandez by KO on my ring fantasy tips, but I can't remember. Tell you what, middleweight is the deadest division in boxing right now. There's middleweight's the deadest, and probably second to that's cruiser. The only reason cruiser is interesting is because we could see David Benavidez versus Jai. But in terms of fights happening, in terms of fights that we're going to see, cruiserweight is fucking dreadful, but middleweight is the worst. Oh, good left hand there from Gary Antonio Russell. I think if people are watching this fight and you know, they're thinking, all right, I'm going to take on Gary Antonio Russell, I don't think that they'd be too scared to face him. You know, this isn't scared of facing Inoue because of the power. This is, you know, he's skillful, you know, he's crafty, but not really sitting on many of these punches. Not one of these clean shots have really hurt Santillan. Yeah, it's good right hand followed by the left hand from Gary Antonio Russell. He's invested well to the body, but it doesn't look like it's taken much effect. And you got to give credit to Santillan for that. Santillan just keeps walking him down, keeps moving forward, hasn't really shrunk under any of the shots to the head and the body. Maybe they're just not that powerful, and that's the reason he's able to do it. But some of the body shots, especially early, I would have thought would have taken effect, and they just don't look like they have. Ultimately, Santillan has been outskilled completely tonight, and it's going to be reflected on the scorecards. I'm intrigued to see how one-sided the official scorecards are going to be. Like, look at that, beautiful work there. Couple of shots to the body, then goes upstairs, does Gary Antonio Russell. And the thing about this fight is Russell's not really having to do much to win these rounds. You know, he can be inactive for 2 minutes at the start. Few little shoe shiners at the end, one crisp body shot, and hey, all of a sudden you've won the round because you're really just not doing a lot because your opponent's not really doing a lot. So hopefully, this fucking shit's putting me to sleep. This shit's putting me to sleep. Yeah, he's gonna need a knockout. The Santillan corner's telling him there's still time to change this. The fucker needs a knockout, and he needs it now because no knockout, no win. Fortunately, did I start that time? And did that actually not start? I'm gonna fix this shit up. Yeah, he needs 14 knockdowns or a knockout, whichever one comes first. I think 100 to 90 is wrong. I think Cynthia won one round. Two is probably a stretch, but definitely one. Sorry, guys. Minute 54 in this round. if you've watched one round, you've watched them all. Basically, they've all been eerily similar, equally boring, equally one-sided, to a point of Santillan hasn't won any of the rounds apart from one, in my opinion. Good bodywork there from Santillan, but not enough to win. Good left hand there from Antonio Russell. Just snuck it in as Santillan tries to press forward. I can't believe that some bookies had Santillan as the favorite. That's fucking ridiculous to me, is it not? Like, this fight has not in any way, shape, or form even been competitive or close. Good body work there from both fighters, to be fair. Big left hand misses from Santillan. Russell's movement, very, very good. His skill, very, very good. His defense, very, very good. Probably just looking at him saying he's missing a little bit of spite in his punches. You know, you compare him to Inoue, and it's like, fuck, Inoue hits a lot harder than what Russell does. All right, final round. We're probably going to be looking at 9 rounds, 11 rounds to 1, in my opinion, unless Santillan wins this round, gets a knockout. He needs a knockout. It's not going to come. At the end of the day, if he gets a knockout in this round, I'd lose my mind because he looks so far away from getting anything out of this fight. How do we feel about fight cards like this? Like, for me, this costs, what, 50 Australian dollars to watch this fight card. And there's 4 fights on the main card, but they're 4 pretty good fights. You know what I mean? Ultimately, you're paying to watch. Oh, shit. A knockdown early in the 12th round. A check right hook drops Santillan. 10 seconds into the 12th round, and he lands this check right hook that drops Santillan. Legs go giraffe. Can Russell find the knockout when Santillan's the one searching for the knockout? Santillan holding on for dear life here. Gary Antonio Russell headhunting here for this finish. And Russell is now just waiting around. He doesn't look like he's bothered. Good left hand, double left hand. Lands on Santillan. A 1-2 misses from Gary Antonio Russell. He's got him up against the ropes. Santillan holding on once again. Fuck, this fight came alive quick in this last round. Been pretty mediocre for majority of it, but all of a sudden there's a little bit of jeopardy. There's a little bit of sustenance to feed on here. As Gary Antonio Russell continues to have a minute 15 to find the finish. Santillan himself needing a finish, but he looks reserved to hopefully just making it out of this ring conscious, then actually get a win. Although he throws a big left hand. I'd love to see the replay of that knockdown because that came out of absolutely nowhere. He just walks onto a right check hook. I I can't even remember whether Santillan threw a punch or whether he was just clocked not paying attention. It all happened so at the start of the round. Big left hand misses from Santillan, gets countered. Crisp, short right hand there from Gary Antonio Russell as he's in the clinch, throwing some very, very short but powerful hooks at the head of Santillan. 25 seconds left. I don't think the knockout's going to come, but an entertaining way to end this final round and to end a fight that was pretty mediocre. Like I said, pretty mediocre fight, but entertaining final round. I'm intrigued to see this knockdown because the legs went like giraffe legs on Santillan. He just went all crisscross and fell over. I'm surprised how he went down, considering most of the punches during the fight didn't look like they were really hurting Santillan, and then all of a sudden a right hand lands and all right, final scorecard 119 and it's a 10-8, so it is 119 to 108. My final scorecard for Victor Santillan losing to Gary Antonio Russell. You could probably have it 120, 107. I think that's a fair enough one as well. I'm intrigued to see if the judges gave Victor Santillan any of the rounds. I gave him one, and it was early. It might have been 4 or 5. Here's the replay. Yeah, while Santillan was throwing some short shots, Russell just goes to the right, over the guard, top of the temple, lands on that boulder Santillan head and drops him to the canvas. Look at that crisp check hook. Just came out of nowhere, didn't it? It just for 10 seconds in, it came out of nowhere in that 12th round. All right. Like I said, not the most entertaining fight, but fuck, round 12 came alive. What are we rating that performance from Russell out of 10? I think a 7's probably fair. That might sound a bit harsh considering the scorecard, but I just think Russell was so good tonight compared to Santillan. You maybe were hoping for a little bit more dominance. You know what I mean? Like maybe another knockdown a little bit earlier, or finding that finish, or really inflicting some damage and some pain on him. Maybe I'm being greedy. Maybe an 8's fairer, but I think when you compare this performance to saying, all right, does he beat a Inoue off the back of this performance? I'm probably not there. Probably not there, but it's a good performance. Like, don't get me wrong. The official scorecards, guys. $118 to 109. And 119 to 108 times 2. So 2 agreed with me. 1 gave Santillan 2 rounds. I have no real qualms with that. I do think that there was the round that I gave him, which was around round 4 and probably around 7, around that time, maybe a little bit earlier, round 5, round 6. Santillan might have squeezed out another one. So I'm not too mad about it. It was clearly won by Gary Antonio Russell. Becomes the new WBA interim super bantamweight champion. And does he beat Inoue? In my opinion, no. In my opinion, there's only one man that beats Inoue, and that is Bam Rodriguez. He probably won't get knocked out by Inoue. It's probably a competitive fight. He's probably in the fight because of his craftiness and his skill and his ability. But I still think you're looking at a 116 Inoue, right? I still think that would be the end result. It was good to see that he landed a crisp shot that dropped Santillan at the end, showed a little bit of power, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to quickly run to the bathroom and get some water whilst we're in between fights. When we come back, we will discuss probably a little bit more about Romero and Teofimo Lopez. So if you've got any thoughts, chuck them in the chat and we'll read them when we get back. All right, guys, I'm back. Interesting fight, very interesting fight. I think you saw all the positive things about Gary Antonio Russell. I think you saw the skill. All right, you saw the craftiness, the technical nous, but maybe a little bit of spite. Maybe that's what I just want. Maybe I want a little bit of fucking spite, a little bit of hate, a little bit of determination, a little bit of let's fucking kill this guy. I think that's might be the one thing that we're missing, because you know for a fact that if Inoue had dropped Santillan, Santillan ain't seeing the final bell, and that's probably what we miss. Like there was 2 minutes 50 seconds left, 2 minutes 45 seconds, 2 minutes 40 seconds left of that 12th round. You had him hurt. You landed a crisp shot to the top of his temple, and he saw the final bell. That's probably my biggest criticism. It was just maybe I just wanted to see a little bit more nastiness. Teofimo Lopez versus Shakur. Teofimo Lopez versus Rolly Romero. Rolly's such an odd duck, isn't he? He's such an odd duck. The fight that always comes to mind when I think of Rolly Romero was the way that he was done in by Isaac Pitbull Cruz. I think when you fight someone like Tank Davis, you were quite competitive for the first 5 rounds, but then you get knocked out clear to the 6th. Hey, shit happens. Most of those people at that time were versing Tank, Ryan Garcia, everybody else. That's what happened when you verse Tank, because Tank is that good. No shame. A bit like how I speak about Teofimo Lopez losing to Shakur. It's Shakur fucking Stevenson. It's Tank Davis. It's not the end of the world. It's not be all end all. Rolly Romero also very far out of his weight category. For me, he's a welterweighter. Right? He was. Anyway, Isaac Pitbull Cruz, Rolly Romero. The way that he was fed by Isaac Pitbull Cruz has always sort of stuck in my mind about his punch resistance and about his off nights, because, like I said, he got destroyed. How do we feel about this next fight? Let's get the scorecard and everything else. Reset. How the fuck? Hernandez and Veron. That should be right. I think I've spelled them both correct. Yeah, so we might as well talk about Teofimo Lopez, Rolly Romero a little bit more. But when I look at Rolly Romero and I say, what's his shot in this fight? Because for me, like I keep saying, I think it's Teo's to lose. Teo's skill for skill is leaps and bounds above Rolly Romero. Rolly Romero, very, very physically strong. You see that in his physique, all right? You see that in his punch power. We know that. Quite quick. He's people underestimate his speed. His punches are quick, his movement's quick. He's not got technical footwork, but he gets in and out of the pocket quick. And that's more of, your muscles than it is your technical ability. He's not going to dance around like Lomachenko, but he's going to be able to jump back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, get in quick, get out quick. Probably in a straight fucking line, but quickly. So a bit of speed, a bit of power, can get in the pocket, can land a big shot. That, for me, is the Rolly Romero shot in this fight. It is. Teofimo Lopez leaves his guard down when he's striking. Teofimo Lopez, you can counter the guy. All right, we saw that with George Kambosos Jr. We saw that when he got dragged into a shot from Sandor Martin. That's a possibility. The other thing that I think is underestimated, and we spoke about this in the preview, is Rolly Romero trying to make this an ugly fight. I think if Rolly Romero can make this an ugly fight, it goes a long way. He's so strong and big compared, in my opinion, to Teofimo Lopez. I know Teofimo Lopez weighed more, but Rolly Romero's strength in that Loma fight, if you watch sort of around round 8, round 9 in the Loma fight, you see Lomachenko really hold on to Teofimo Lopez, make it a little bit nasty, start doing some rabbit shots in the pocket, and just make it a real fucking nasty affair. And Teofimo Lopez looked a little bit uncomfortable for that round. In this weight category, with the strength of Rolly Romero, I think Rolly Romero can do the same thing. Hold on to him. Start fucking doing these ones to him. Just just to throw Teofimo Lopez off and really try and stop those confidence early. What he did against Ryan Garcia, he killed the confidence in Ryan Garcia from early. Ryan Garcia didn't look the same after being dropped straight away. My biggest problem with it was I thought Rolly Romero should have maybe gone after it a little bit more. And I think Salas maybe tells him to be a little bit patient in this fight as well. But for Rolly Romero, I think if you can get a knockdown early, Teofimo Lopez looks a very different fighter when he's feeling good and when he's not. And we saw that. When he got dropped by George Kambosos Jr., he did look different for the next few rounds. He did slow. That confidence was gone. I know ultimately Teofimo Lopez gets a knockdown late in that fight, but still. He dropped rounds that would have won him the fight in the end. Against Shakur Stevenson, the longer that fight went, the less success Teofimo Lopez had, the more Shakur was able to dominate the fight without really having to do much because Teofimo Lopez was so worried about being countered. If Rolly Romero can land that counter early and show what this welterweight power is, I think he's got a very good chance of winning this fight. The biggest problem for me is, does Romero win? Does Romero land that punch early? And that's where I'm not convinced because I think the Teofimo Lopez defense is underestimated. I think the Teofimo Lopez ability is underestimated. I think Teofimo Lopez can overwhelm a fighter. I think Teofimo Lopez can dance around you, land pot shots, land clean shots from all sorts of angles. He's unorthodox. He throws different stuff. You see that punch that he threw jumping towards Josh Taylor and all these things. When Teo's feeling good, when Teo's confident, he looks good. We also look at the sparring footage. And I bring this up continuously. I know it was years ago, 2017 era, Rolly Romero only a few years sort of in the sport. But Rolly Romero gets fucking destroyed in that sparring session. Like one-sided dominance in that sparring footage from Teofimo Lopez. And the reason I think that's important is because I say that to people. I say, do you remember the sparring footage when Teofimo Lopez absolutely put a beat down on Rolly Romero? And they say to me, yeah, but that was a few years ago. Rolly was only a few years in the sport. He's a lot better than he was then. And it's as though, oh, so since then Teofimo Lopez has just stood still. Teofimo Lopez hasn't gotten any better. Teofimo Lopez hasn't also grown, become a better fighter than what he was. So has Rolly Romero in those 9 odd years gotten so much better that he's outgrew what Teofimo Lopez was at that stage and what Teofimo Lopez is now? Or has Rolly Romero grown at the same rate that Teofimo Lopez has done? And at the end of the day, they've both grown the same amount. Rolly is a much better fighter than he was, but so is Teofimo Lopez. At the end of the day, Teofimo Lopez is still going to be able to school Rolly Romero. I hope that makes sense. And that's sort of what I feel when I look at that sort of footage. When you talk about the sparring footage between Ryan Garcia and Rolly Romero and how that was reflected in the fight, well, at the end of the day, Rolly Romero was beating up Ryan Garcia in the sparring, and that reflected in the fight. All right? We saw those same left hooks land on Ryan Garcia in a spar, transitioned a few years later into a professional fight, and those left hands landed once again. And I think that's important when you talk about this fight. I do. I think that is important. They're talking about Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury. We've sort of already covered it, but one thing we didn't really talk about when we talk about Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury is who we think's going to win. And for me, I think AJ wins. I do. I believe AJ wins that fight. Boots Ennis versus Josh Kelly planned for November or December advanced negotiations. Boots Ennis would be a fucking idiot to not take that fight. Let's be honest. Does anybody actually think Josh Kelly beats Jon Boots Ennis? For me, no. Look, that sounds disrespectful, and I don't mean it to be disrespectful, but for me, there is levels in this game, and I actually think there was a good chance that Xander Zayas would beat Josh Kelly, never mind the fact that Jon Boots Ennis would take. So for me, Jon Boots Ennis beats Josh Kelly. I think it's very brave from Josh Kelly to take that fight. I like Josh Kelly. I think Josh Kelly takes the hard fights. I think Josh Kelly doesn't duck from a challenge. I think Josh Kelly showed that when he stepped into the ring against Barkram, because at that point, Barkram was the boogeyman. Nobody wanted to face Barkram. He went in there, not only beat him, dropped him in that fight, wins the world title against him, backs it up against the top contender in Keegan Ajako, wins that fight. Close, but wins that fight. Take a fight with Jon Boots Ennis, like I said, you got to give the guy credit because there's plenty of fighters, and we know who they are, that duck the tough fights, don't want the tough fights, make fucking excuses. Virgil Ortiz. I'm looking at you because for me, Virgil Ortiz ducked the opportunity to take on Jon Boots Ennis already. And for some reason, Virgil Ortiz is now talking about moving up to middleweight. I can understand if but I do think Virgil Ortiz for me ducked Drombo Tennis, but at the same time was robbed of an opportunity to take on Sebastian. I hope that makes sense. The reason that I say that is because I believe that they will make an excuse as Golden Boy Virgil Ortiz to not take on Drombo Tennis, and I'll stick with that. I do believe that's what happened, or else why did we see all that other fucking nonsense? The fact that Sebastian Fundora is the WBC champion, Virgil Ortiz is the interim champion, next in line, next to fight for the world title, the interim, the champion in waiting. The fact that Virgil Ortiz doesn't get the mandatory and Ermel Hadrabij does, that's the WBC robbing Virgil Ortiz of an opportunity to fight for a world title. That's where I have sympathy for Virgil Ortiz. And if that's the reason he wants to move up to middleweight, then fair enough, because he knows the WBC aren't giving me the opportunity I deserve. And look, I respect that. I understand that. But I do think he avoided the opportunity to take on Drombo Tennis already. I do. I think Virgil Ortiz has a very different opinion on taking. I think Virgil Ortiz didn't want the fight before Jerome Tennis took on Xander Zayas. Now he saw Xander Zayas take on Jerome Tennis and the opportunities that might arise for Virgil. And now he wants to fight. Now he wants to fight. You know, he didn't want it at first, but now he's saying something he wants to go back in. Well, buddy, you had your opportunity. And he says, I don't want the risk. I don't want the unknown risk. And now that that risk is a little bit more calculated, he wants it. And for me, buddy, now you got to wait. Now you've got to wait. You didn't want it in the first place. You're now talking about Jerome Tennis, who's the unified champion. He makes the decisions. Before he took on Xander Zayas, Jerome Tennis hadn't fought in this division, hadn't had any belts, hadn't had any success here. You were an interim champion. You had the right to call the shots. Well, unfortunately, you're now the interim, and he's the unified. So you wait on his time. In terms of the fight, I'd fucking love that fight. I think everybody would love that fight. Jerome Tennis versus Virgil Ortiz. We're looking at a slugfest for however long it goes. And it could go either way. But Virgil Ortiz obviously sees an opportunity. Middleweight is fucking dreadful. It's dead. There's plenty of fights to have there. Some of them relatively big fights. Not massive fights. Don't get me wrong. You get an Erislandy Lara, you get a Carlos Adames, pretty good paycheck. You might draw a Xander Zayas or a Tim Tszyu. You know, you might draw a Charlo. You know, there's definitely names. There's some of the champions, Bentley, McKenna. I mean, you're not getting much money out of those guys. All right, one's with Zuffa as well. But you probably look through those names and say, "Fuck, Virgil Ortiz probably beats a lot of them." He probably beats a lot of them. Not this shit again. Why do we keep talking about this? Clarissa Shields versus Rolly Romero. Like the owner trying to build a fight between them. I think it's fucking ridiculous. At the end of the day, I think it's fucking pathetic. I think it's poor from the zone. I think it's fucking stupid. Clarissa Shields, go and fight people like Michaela Meyer, Lauren Price, these top women, and make a legacy of yourself. Rolly Romero, you don't go around hitting women. Bang. End of story. Finish. Discussion over. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. What are we doing? What the fuck are we doing? I do wonder why this is why they're taking such a long intermission between fights here. I want to see the fucking next fight. I don't really give a fuck about all of these clips that I've already seen in the lead up. You know what I mean? We've all seen these videos that they're showing already. They've already been watched. They've already been done. They've already been discussed. Let's see the fights. It is fight day. Anyway, I digress. Anybody know what happened in the UFC? Let's have a Google. Well, let's fucking do it. I want to see Yonli Hernandez knock this fucker out. Not that I have anything against Veron, don't get me wrong. I actually just a big fan of Yonli Hernandez. I think he's a top talent. I think he's got a lot to offer, and I think this is his opportunity to make a name for himself. And unfortunately, Veron's going to have to be the fall person here. He's going to have to be the guy that gets his ass kicked. Unlucky. Is Anthony Hernandez currently fighting Gregory Rodriguez? If anybody is watching it right now, let me know. I'm going to go on Twitter and have a quick squiz, see what's going on. Sorry, I got fucking distracted there. People fucking sending me all sorts of messages. Get the fuck out of here. UFC. That's what I was looking for. Anthony Hernandez. Hold up. Did Gregory Rodriguez knock out Anthony Hernandez? I'm seeing clips of Gregory dropping Anthony Hernandez twice. Did Gregory Rodriguez win this fight, or are we still going? Taylor tape sign, but I want to see if Gregory Hernandez, if Gregory Rodriguez has beaten Fluffy Hernandez. All over the place with these fucking names. We've got Yonli Hernandez, we've got Gregory Rodriguez, we got fucking Fluffy Hernandez. Everything is filling my head. Let's bring in Sebastian Hernandez as well. How many other fucking Hernandezes can we have? I have no idea. No one's telling me what the fuck's going on. Anthony Hernandez is getting cooked by Gregory Rodriguez. That's surprising. Hernandez was on such an unbelievable win streak. Like such an unbelievable win streak for so long. And I think everybody was saying, oh, Anthony Hernandez is going to be in for a world title shot very, very soon. Anyway. All right. Ring walk times. I'm excited for this fight. If you can't tell, I'm very excited. They're doing a memorial for Pritchard Colin, a guy that was absolutely fucking robbed of not only a career but a life, which is just fucking ridiculous. And I see so many discussions go on about who's at fault for it. Is it the referee? Is it the judges? Is it the corner? Is it the opponent? Who's actually at fault for his? And I think they've all got a role to play. I don't think any of them are free of responsibility for what happened with him. All right, the corner probably should have acted and got him out of there. The referee should have stopped that fight and says, you fouled him one too many times. The fight's done. You're done. You're finished. The fighter knows what he's doing. You can't be hitting someone on the back of the fucking head. So when people have these discussions of who's at fault and trying to blame one person, for me, Richard Collin is gone because of stupidity from multiple people, and a lack of responsibility from a couple of people, and it is a shame. Because yeah, like I said, he was not only robbed of a career, he was robbed of a life. Anybody actually think Francisco Veron is going to win this fight? I'm just curious. Genuinely curious if anybody's tipping him. For me, no. End of the day, no. He hasn't been knocked out yet. He lost to Brandon Adams, but he hasn't been knocked out. I think he's got a draw against somebody. I can't actually remember. Um, but he loses. At the end of the day, he loses. It's does he get knocked out or not? And I'm pumping for a knockout because, like I said, I'm intrigued in what Yonli Hernandez can create in his career and achieve in his career. How many rounds? I'm going Yonli Hernandez to win this fight in 6. Fuck it. I want this to be a barn burner. I haven't exactly thought any of the fights so far have been real. Oh, you know what? There hasn't been a real explosive knockout, but the first fight on the main card was a very competitive and close and an engaging fight. So rewind, reboot. I want to see an explosive war that ends in a knockout. Look at this costume. Ten wins, no knockouts, and I think it's going to be 11-10. I think it's going to be 11-10 by the end of the night. Apparently Hernandez is coming back in this fight, but I don't know if he's achieving anything. Round 3 they're in. What do you guys think of last week's action between Islam Makhachev and Ian Machado Gary, the cock of the UFC, I hear. There's a fucking outrageous thing to be known for, eh? I don't actually think that's Ian's son. Like, what the fuck we doing? Anyway, I thought it was a good performance by Islam, considering, right? When you look at Islam versus Ian Machado Gary, it was, I think lots of people were surprised about how good Ian was, right? But Ian was the taller, the younger, and the bigger fighter, right? Let's not forget he was all three of those things. I think the reach was equal. Of Islam might have had like an inch, maybe. Don't quote me on that, but I can guarantee you for a second that age, size, and height were all in Ian Machado Gary's favor, and Islam won it, and Islam won it. So knockout round 8. By the way, is my official. Oh no, not round 8. Round 6. That's gonna be my official prediction. Bold, but fuck it. Rolly versus Teofimo. Get that done. All right, let me start this timer. I'm going Yonli Hernandez, round 6 knockout, make a statement, first big card. I think this is his time to really start showing the world who he is and how good he is. Because so many people, he's sort of going under the radar. Not a lot of people know who he is. He's a top guy, and I think soon gonna be a middleweight world champion. So we're underway. Very quick start here from Yonli Hernandez. Really launching into Francisco Veron. Clean right hand there. He's a fucking big dude, eh? Like, he's a big dude. I love this this jab that Hernandez is using early here. Oh, good right hand to the body there from Hernandez. What the fuck are we stopping for? Ooh, good work there from Veron. Left hook to the body and then comes through the middle with a nice uppercut. Veron's been physical and aggressive with him. Just pushes Hernandez straight into the referee. For Veron, he looks undersized compared to Hernandez, right? He's a bit more, you know, of that string bean, Fedora, Shiraz type build. Look at this clubbing power from Hernandez, though. Right hooks, probably close to back of the head, but another right to the body there. Veron's doing quite well. I think Veron, look at that. Left hook to the body and comes up again with a right uppercut that time. This is the one fear for Hernandez in this fight, and we see it occasionally. Look at that right hand. Is you know when you watch like Albert Ramirez at light heavy, right? And you watch an Albert Ramirez fight, and he's knocked out so many people in his career, and he's been able to be so aggressive and physical that he falls into a trap of, all right, I'm just going to continuously throw this one punch, this big left hand, and try and look for the knockout. That's one thing that Yonli Hernandez, the more success he has, it might at one point jeopardize him because he starts looking for just one thing, and that is those clubbing shots. But at the moment, it's working for him. You see, great defense there from Yonli Hernandez. Very close first round. That was a close round. That was a close round, and I'm kind of tempted to score it like that. I think you could have put it either way. I didn't mind the work from Veron early in that round. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. In the chat, I should say. Do you believe that I should score it the other way? Do you got a conflicting opinion? Chuck it in there. We're always open to discussion here. It's a free place to voice your fucking opinions. Like that clubbing shot over the top, it doesn't really land. Good 1-2 there from Verone. This with the Hernandez defense is so odd. At some points he's got this real high guard, real covering up shell like, and then at some points he's got his hands down to his fucking knees, bent over, and I'm like, all right, what works for you? But he's quite athletic. Like you saw that when Veron missed by an absolute mile. Big right hand misses, but jumps in with a double left hook. Hernandez been warned about using his elbows. Jab to the body there. Oh, 4 big punches there from, like, Hernandez has got this thing of being able to walk straight forward, right? Be quite explosive in attack and throw these big power punch combinations. And it works for him. It is very Mexican. Good right hand to the body there from Hernandez, followed up by a good jab. Veron comes back with an uppercut, but it does get partially blocked. Hernandez misses with a big right hand. Veron fucking taunts him. I don't mind the boxing from Veron here. Like, staying on the outside, using your jab well. I check left hook, a straight right at different points in the fight. Hernandez almost buying his time, explodes for half a second, throws a few punches, and then resets. I think it's quite competitive. I think Veron needs to put a little bit more sting on these punches. They're really just tapping shots, and he gets countered with a left hook there from Hernandez. Followed by fucking 1-2 from Hernandez that gets through, but Veron ducks under a right hook. Apologies, I forgot to start the timer. We've got 10 seconds left. I will fix that up for the next round. A left hand there from, good right hand as well from Hernandez. 4 jabs, misses there. Great, defense there from Hernandez. We'll go 1 round apiece. I think that's fair. The first round was so close. You could have given it either way. If you got it 2 rounds to Hernandez, fair enough. Veron hasn't won 2 rounds. I can guarantee that. But it's a good fight so far. It's a good fight. Hernandez he's got like almost a style of his own. It's not Cuban. It's not Mexican. It's almost taken a few elements from a few different regions and putting them together. Like, even as far as his hands down defense, it's almost kickboxer like. All right, round 3. Let me start this timer. Good right hand there from Verone. Double jab upstairs and then a right to the body there from Hernandez. I don't mind the work from Veron, but it's as though he needs to just sit on him a little bit more, because they're shoe shining tappy shots, but they're not discouraging any activity from Hernandez. Big right hand there, but Veron does well to back away and just let that shot sort of glance. I think Hernandez could probably afford to be a little bit more active. He doesn't. Good right hand though over the top. a little bit more active. It's almost 30 seconds of inactivity, 10 seconds of activity, 30 seconds of inactivity, 10 seconds of activity. And it's as you climb through the ranking, as you come up against better opponents, those rounds you're going to lose, and you're going to get in fights where you should be winning, but you've only won in 115, that type of area. And it's based purely off the fact that you're not being active and you are relying on, I'm going to knock him out. Not a knockdown. That hand touched the fucking canvas. No, no knockdown. Okay. Looked like there was a shot to the body from Hernandez. I'm surprised. Jab upstairs and a good right hand to the body there from Hernandez. And another 1-2 there from Hernandez. Good defense there from Veron. Good work there from Hernandez. Back against the ropes, but able to pick off Veron as he gets close. Good round there from Hernandez. Like I said, I wouldn't mind a little bit more activity from Hernandez. Step on the gas a little bit, but overall, you're winning the fight. Fuck, I'm absolutely fucking cooked. First weekend of the Premier League, so I've been staying up watching it. Xander's Ice is moving up. We sort of already fucking knew that, didn't we? Did anybody actually think that he was staying around? Who won between Rodriguez and Hernandez? I do want to know. That fight's got to be over now, unless it's gone 5 rounds. Maybe they haven't announced it yet. Oh shit! Let me start this timer. Getting sidetracked trying to watch too many shit at once. All right. Oh, Hernandez carrying Veron around. Getting a warning though. Yeah, I do wonder whether Hernandez will eventually be a super middleweighter as well. He's got the size for it. He can definitely dominate middle and then move up. Veron's just a little crafty, he's just crafty enough to not really wear a big shot so far in this fight. So I think it wouldn't hurt Hernandez to just go a little bit more downstairs. He's done some straight rights to the body that have landed. I don't think like that beautiful left hook to the body, then comes over the top. Gotta give Veron credit here. He's not being discouraged. He's not the heaviest handed fighter at all. Nowhere near it. Good left hand there from Hernandez, as he's got Veron on the back foot. I look at that again, a 1-2 there from Veron. They're not doing anything, but he's consistently turning up and offering something. 50 seconds left of this 4th round. Hernandez landing some good clean punches, but yet to land that real dynamite fight finisher. I said Hernandez in 6 rounds. A good left hook to the body again, and I think he needs to keep doing that. Right, get that right hand, sorry, of Veron's down, and then throw that left hook upstairs like that. Left hand on the chin of Veron. Veron comes back with some shoe shining shots, check left hook and an uppercut. But they're really not discouraging Hernandez at all. I don't think Veron's got the power to do so. 10 seconds left of the 4th round. Another Hernandez round. Yeah, Gregory Rodriguez has defeated Anthony Hernandez 48, 47, 49, 46, 48, 47. I'm so excited for Garcia Bene. I'm pumped for that fight. Veron starting this round very, very quickly, getting Hernandez back in the corner. I know what was said in the corner for him to come out like this. Veron trying to bully Hernandez. Eats an uppercut though. Oh, big right hand there from Hernandez. And then just look at that beautiful Canelo-like defense there, hands down. Dodges like skill and power being shown off here by Hernandez. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And this is stuff that nobody has seen because first time Yoli Hernandez has really been on display, and it's a massive card, so big opportunity. Double jab there from Hernandez. Comes up with a right uppercut as well. Yeah, it's very, very good defense. I think I think I've seen Yoni Hernandez in the last 2 fights, and I'm really appreciating his defense in this fight. Like I expected him to come out here and blast him away, but I'm more impressed with the defensive skill and upper body movement of him. Sneaky little left hand there going upstairs from Hernandez. Oh, Veronis just hit him and wobbled Hernandez with a check hook. Veron's got him up against the ropes. Hernandez was definitely wobbled then. That's come out of absolutely nowhere. And this is the thing about Hernandez and needing to be responsible in attack when flying in, because we've all said up until this point in this fight that Veron is not a big hitter. If he comes up against a big hitter, what's going to happen? Then I want to see that on replay because he was definitely wobbled. He was definitely wobbled. What the fuck? I don't want to see no Rolly Romero. I want to see this fucking wobble. Anyway. No, this actually pissed me off. They're asking Rolly Romero stupid fucking questions instead of showing us this replay of Yonli Hernandez being wobbled. Fuck's sake. Oh shit. What were we at? I pressed the wrong button. Apologies. We're into round 6. And what are we at? Sorry, I'm just trying to remember where we were up to. Was that where we were up to? I think that's where we were up to. Apologies if that's not it. But I think that's what we were. I think that's where we were. Sorry, it just gave me the shits that they didn't show the replay, and that threw me. Good jab to the body, then goes upstairs from Verone. Right hand over the top. Right hand over the top there, breaking out of the clinch from Hernandez. Double jab there, followed by a straight right. Counter right hand there from Hernandez, followed by a good uppercut. Dribbling up the jab there from Verone. Uppercut and a left hook there from Verone, but he gets countered. Right hand from Hernandez as well. Good work there from Hernandez. Triple right hand upstairs there from Hernandez. Hernandez almost throwing Verone over the ropes there. I don't know what the fuck he's doing there. It's a warning from Thomas Taylor. Double jab to the body and then one jab upstairs there from Verone. Jab downstairs and then a right cross over the top from Hernandez. But Verone was able to get out of the way. 20 seconds left. Hernandez blitzes in. 10 seconds left to this round. Close round. I'm probably going to give it to Hernandez. Am I being greedy for wanting a little bit more out of Hernandez? Tell me if I'm wrong. I'm just almost sort of waiting for it. You know, I'm almost sort of let's fucking see it. Let's fucking see it. Veron's being crafty. He's doing well to stay on the outside. He's not engaging too heavily, but still, I want to see it. I want to see him fucking crunch him with one. I missed what they were telling the referee then. I have no idea what they're arguing about. Good jabs there from Verone. Good body work there from Hernandez. How do you have 300 amateur fights and not go to the Olympics? I never get those guys, eh? Like, I don't get it. What is the reason for the individual not going to the Olympics? Am I missing something? I don't know. Oh, good right hand over the top there from Hernandez. Good uppercut there from Hernandez. Comes over the top with another right hand. I give Veron a lot of credit in this fight because it is a scary man that he's in up against. A right hand that lands from Hernandez as he's almost trying to bully him with his physicality. Are we going to see this fight go the distance? We very well could, eh? Good right hands there from Hernandez. I think everybody was banking on Hernandez getting a knockout in this fight. It hasn't looked like coming. You know what I mean? Like, there hasn't been a wobble yet from Verone even. There hasn't been an opportunity where Verone looks hurt. Verone's looking not strong in there, but resilient, resistant to these punches from Hernandez, and he just keeps marching him back down. He gets hit and he keeps like this, just getting back on the front foot, tapping shots, consistent jab, sneaky uppercuts, check hooks, like that. Almost draws Hernandez onto a counter check hook as well. Sorry, I'm back. Round 8 underway. At the moment, I'm almost convinced now that we're going to see the final bell on this, which is surprising. Double left hook there, sneaky there from Verone. Tries to get in a short uppercut, gets blocked by Hernandez. Oh, big right hand there lands from Hernandez, and that's the punch that's hurt Verone. But Verone shakes it off and he presses back forward. Credit, because that looked like a thunderous right hand from Hernandez. Like for the undersized Verone to eat that punch, fucking credit to him, eh? Fucking credit to him. those electric combinations, but Verone's done quite well tonight to get out of the way of most of those shots, like to dodge that last big left hand that he throws. Look, so far from what I've seen from 8 rounds, I look at Hernandez and say he's a scary, scary prospect. He's got thunderous power. He's physical. He's mean, but he's beatable. I believe that. I believe that a crafty, knowledgeable fighter with power has success against him. I do. I think there's an opportunity there. Another warning there from Thomas Taylor, to both fighters in the end. 55 seconds left of this round. Hernandez. Oh, there we go. Another nice right hand. And he throws his punches in 3s and 4s, which I like, from Hernandez. Right, every time he explodes, it's never just a one single big right hand or a 1-2. It's 3-4-5, 3-4. Like, it's good combination work from him. I want to see the replay of that. No, big. Oh, no. Why would we want to see the big right hand? Let's go listen to them ask Teo some stupid questions. All right, round 9 underway. Pretty standard scorecard so far. It seems harsh on Verone, 79-73. I think Verone's been better than that, and I'm interested to see how the sorry, I'm fucking absolutely destroyed, man. Absolutely destroyed. I need to have something to wake me up. Anyway. Gotta get Hernandez to punch me in the face, wake me up a little bit. Oh, leaping left hand there from Hernandez. But Verone wears it well. Once again, Verone wears it well. It is odd. I feel like I'm being greedy, but I wanted a little bit more. I wanted a little bit more out of Hernandez, which, yeah, weird by the fuck me. What is fucking going on? Hernandez, he's winning by a mile, right? He's landed some clean shots, but I kind of expected a little bit more, and I don't know what that little bit more is, but it was just, I don't know, just something else, something a little bit more. Good right hand there. Bro, the middleweight division is so fucking dead. Carlos Adames likely to move up. Erislandy Lara, cunt's like 43. Like, what the fuck are we doing? We got a new champion in Aaron McKenna. We got Denzel Bentley, a new champion who, if I remember correctly, he got mandatory or he's gonna fight some fucker. I can't remember. But the division's fucked. Like this has been one of the great divisions in the history of boxing. And right, fucking hell, what is going on? I need a fucking remedy for these fucking yawns, man. What the fuck is going on? I need to go get some fucking food. Wake me up. I do gotta go train this afternoon, so. I only ate breakfast. I don't particularly like eating too much before I train because I fucking feel like shit. Alright, let's fucking start the next round. Round 10, here we go. Let's see if we can get maybe a stoppage. I said I thought Hernandez was going to get a round 6 stoppage. And now I'm saying it's going to a decision. I'd be very surprised at this rate if anything other than a decision is what happens. But, alright, something's fucking me up in this room. I don't know what's going on, but it needs to settle itself the fuck down. I'll go get some food during the fights and all right. Big right hand there from Hernandez. Final round of this fight, 2 minutes, and then we get to see Romero versus Teofimo Lopez, which I'm pumped for. It is a great fight. It is a great fight. We got to talk about the friendship between them before we see this fight as well. That'll be our conversation between fights, I think, because they deserve credit for it. They do. I think it goes probably shouldn't be, thanked, but see, this is my worry, right, in this fight. And it might we can all tell Veron's undersized, right? We can all tell Veron's undersized. He's the smaller fighter. He's been hit cleanly by Hernandez. No stoppage. No stoppage. Has the power from Hernandez maybe been a little bit overstated, by myself included? Possibly. Because if you look at this fight, you just watch the highlights and you say, all right, who was hurt the worst in this fight? Who looks like they ate the worst shot? I would say that shot Veron landed when he wobbled Hernandez has been the worst shot landed in this fight because Hernandez looked more hurt than what Veron did when he got hit. You know what I mean? Look, we're nitpicking. At the end of the day, we are nitpicking, and it's been a good performance by him. Um, anyway, he's won this fight by a landslide. That's all that matters. I expect him to get a big fight next. I want to see him in a big fight next, I should say. I wonder who watched this fight today and says this is the guy I want to fight, and they probably don't want to fight him. But how do we feel about maybe Carlos Adames against him? Yeah, no, I fucking full credit to Verone. Like, he took the best shot Hernandez could give him, and he ate the fucker, and he came back. He also hurt Hernandez. He also went the distance with him. So I got fucking credit to Veron. I think he deserves a lot of, he's lost the fight, but admiration and the saying that he went the distance with him, and a little bit of credit for that, because it was a fucking tough fight, and I can imagine how many people would have turned down this fight. So, but for Hernandez, on to bigger things. Veron, go down to super welter. He's not a middleweight, super welter. For Hernandez, bigger fights. Carlos Adames, Erislandy Lara, anybody of no, there's not that many super. Oh my fucking! It's actually starting to give me the shits. Like, it's like chronic fucking yawning at the moment. It has been for the past half an hour. I have no idea. I have no idea why I'm fucking cooked. All right. Let's skip the decision. Let's skip all the bullshit. Let's see Rolly Romero versus Teofimo Lopez. I hope this isn't a fucking 30-minute intermission, because they give me the shit. You know when, like, they do the fights in Riyadh season, and like you're waiting for the big fight, and it's like, fuck, I'm fucking amped for it. And then we got to see like some musical artist perform for 20 minutes, and like, what the fuck are we doing? What the fuck are we doing here? Nobody asked for this. Anyway, let's see what the scorecards are. They've they've given it a majority. 95-95 a draw. 98-92. 99-91. Veron actually thought he won. And look, like I said, he deserves credit because valiant performance. Can I be honest with you? 95-95 a draw. I'm a little bit indifferent to it. I don't think Yonli Hernandez was, what's the word, untouchable tonight. Like, let's not forget that Veron was on the front foot for most of that fight, but for me, like, you see how I scored it, right? So I'm not saying that he's right, but it's not one of the ones where I'm furious at it. You know what I mean? I'm sure if you watch that fight back, and you really like went through the rounds, who's connecting, who's on the front foot, who's everything else, they're not forgetting that Veron hurt him, right? Like, I don't look, at the end of the day, my opinion has not changed. Hernandez is gettable, in my opinion. I think Hernandez is gettable. All right, I'm going to go find something to eat, and reset before the last fight. I hope it's not going to be too long before we see it. Like I said, ugh, I hate when they take 30 minutes. All right, I will be back shortly, so stay tuned. Jump in the chat. Let me know your thoughts, and we'll read them out when we get. All right, we are back. Teofimo Lopez versus Romero. Just moments away from getting underway, and I am fucking pumped for it, eh? I think it's such a good fight. Like any of these fights that you go in and saying, I'm just not sure. Like, it's a good fight. How do we feel about next week's fight? Talma versus Hrgovic. I think Hrgovic is being overlooked, but I can understand why. At the end of the day, I can understand why. How do we feel about the fight if by some reason Atalma walks onto a power punch of Hrgovic and goes down like a sack of shit? Like what are we thinking of Hrgovic? What are we thinking of Moses Atalma? Because I feel like for Moses Atalma, I do feel bad for him in one retrospect because I think for Moses Atalma, if he doesn't win on the weekend, people are gonna go after the fucker. Like people are gonna start hating on the guy, and it's like, bro, he's 21. You're the same people that were hyping him up. He loses one fight, and you turn on the guy, right? It's a tough fight. Him versus Hrgovic is a tough fight, and I think people are overlooking Hrgovic. Moses Atalma, Dillian White, Mike Balogun, Jermaine Franklin are leaps and bounds away from what Philip Hrgovic is going to offer in this fight. Right? So it's not a cakewalk. Yes, I agree with most people. I would say that Moses Atalma is the favorite coming into the fight. But like let's not overlook the fact that Hrgovic has been around for a long time. He's been in tough fights. He's been in there with big opponents. Let's not forget, like the only stoppage loss on his resume is that Daniel Dubois one, and he was stopped by cuts. Like he wasn't even put on the floor. And some people say Moses Atalma was going to go in there and knock him out in 2 rounds. Look, if he does it in 2 rounds, holy shit! Like fuck it, like that is unbelievable. But I just don't see it going that way. I just don't. Anyway, I'm gonna try and make a full breakdown and prediction video to release during the week. So make sure you are subscribed so you can check that video out when it comes out. But we're moments away now from Rolly Romero versus Teofimo Lopez, and I'm very excited. I'm very excited. How do we feel? I have put a poll up that I'll check before the fight starts or what everybody's thinking. I know lots of people are a big fan of Rolly Romero, and I can understand why. Great personality, like great guy. You can't hate Rolly Romero, but for me, it's Teofimo's fight to lose. At the end of the day, it is Teofimo's fight to lose. Oh, it looks like we are getting ready to do the ring walks. Look at this costume by Teofimo Lopez. Like it's like he's in a marching band. See, my thing with Teofimo Lopez is his biggest sort of flaw is built for a right hander, and we know how much Rolly Romero prefers to throw the powerful left hand. I think Rolly Romero needs to utilize that right hand a little bit more than what he does. The other thing for Teofimo Lopez, I think when Teofimo Lopez, when things are going his way, he's just a completely different fighter. So for Rolly, get 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 Teofimo Lopez into his shell, if that makes sense. Like try and inflict some damage. Show him what welterweight power is early. All right, if you can get a drop, even better. But the less confidence Teofimo Lopez has, the more the fight's not going his way, the more it starts to crumble between him, between his corner, between him and Senior. Everything starts to fall to shit quickly. You let Teofimo Lopez get off to a quick start, and you're 4 or 5 rounds in, and Teofimo Lopez is really feeling himself. I think Rolly Romero's the fight starting for him. I think you know what I mean. I think 5 rounds in, Teo's won all 5, started really well, looked really good. He goes on and wins it. I think for Rolly Romero, it's about creating that pressure early and making sure that you're still in this fight halfway through it. You've won most of the rounds. You've hurt Teo. You've made Teo go into his shell a little bit. Mark Scott has just said that he thinks Rolly wins by decision. Look, I don't begrudge anybody's opinion on any of these fights. I actually think it's a very close fight. But for me personally, I have Teofimo Lopez winning by a good UD. I do. I think he's just the far better boxer. And when you say Rolly Romero is a disrespected champion, I think Rolly Romero has had 3 big fights in his career, right? He's had 3 big fights. Garcia, Tank, Cruz. And he's been knocked out in 2. Big fights for Teofimo Lopez. Beat Josh Taylor. Beat Sandor Martin. Beat Lomachenko. Loses to Kambosos. Loses to Shakur. Doesn't get knocked out in them. And I do think that speaks a lot. I do. And look, there's always different scenarios for everything. Like, I know Shakur didn't knock out Teo, but Shakur won every fucking round. So at the end of the day, you know, just about being knocked out. George Kambosos Jr. dropped him really early in that fight, but hey, Teo also gets a drop late in that fight. And it's a close decision. And some people believe that Teofimo Lopez did do enough to win it. So, look, welterweight's another thing that's important in this fight. I think the fact that it is at welterweight, it favors Rolly. Of course, it favors Rolly. I've seen plenty of fighters step up from super light to welterweight and falter on their first attempt. Most recently, Liam Paro stepping up, right after losing to Hitchens, steps up to welterweight, undersized, almost loses, almost gets stopped from David Popo. Look, he escapes it, gets out of jail. And you see in his next fight adapt a little bit more against Lewis Crocker. But you also see fights like Devin Haney move up. Just bitch Brian Norman Jr., you know, like just fucking run through the guy. So we're not going to know. We're not going to know until the fight starts, until we're part way through it. But it's a risk. It's a risk. Let's get fucking hyped. Come on. Let's get this started. So the poll is complete. And you guys are picking Rolly Romero by KO, Teo by KO 26%, and then Teo by decision, and none of you really think Rolly's going to win a decision. So, yeah, fair enough. Lots of people reckon that Rolly by KO. Bro, I will be the biggest Rolly fan you've ever fucking seen if he gets if he gets a knockout. Absolutely shameless by me. Honestly, I will be the most shameless fucking guy because I'll fucking go out and buy a fucking Rolly Romero shirt. Fuck! Um, that that working? Doesn't look like it's fucking working. Why is that? Why is that being a piece of shit? Hmm. Let me just. For some reason, screen's gone a little bit fucked up. Maybe that's fixed it. Hopefully. Last thing I need is it to fuck up right now. Look at this. This is great stuff by Teofimo Lopez. This is a good moment for Teofimo Lopez. He's got local kids and boxers and stuff from his area doing the walkout for him. Like top quality stuff. Seems odd seeing Teofimo Lopez walk second, doesn't it? Does Teofimo walking second, Rolly walking first. You remember their walkouts for Times Square? They both came in like their own like unique cars. Somebody came in a fucking Batmobile or something, didn't they, that day? I can't even remember. That was a day to forget. That was one of the worst boxing cards I've ever seen in my life. Like if you were to proportion it between the hype and the event that they put on and the fights that we saw, it is one of the worst boxing cards you have ever seen, if not the worst. And you know what? It was even doubled upon the fact that we saw Canelo versus School the next day. That was fucking one of the worst fights you'll ever see in general. Yeah, it was a fucking dreadful weekend. Some people were out there spending like $80 to watch both fights, and you were there like that was the biggest waste of $80. I might as well have just flushed it down the toilet. Anyway, Teofimo Lopez versus Rolly Romero. I want to know what this costume is that he's wearing. Like I don't understand. Apart from being in a marching band, I don't know. I don't know what it is. What is it? You know those fuckers that twirl those fucking sticks in the marching band. It's a real American thing, a marching band. I don't think I've ever seen or heard of a marching band in Australia. Like ever. Like, and they just don't like really exist. Um, well, at least not the Americanized version of a marching band. What's Rolly Romero wearing for this walkout? Because when they showed him in his changing room, he was just in a white shirt, but there was a costume on the wall, so comes out dressed as fucking Spider Man. That'd be the most fucking Rolly shit. Here he is, simple by the Rolly. Fuck, Rolly is just a character and a half, isn't he? It's dreadful, isn't it? The fact that May last year was the last time we saw Rolly. I think fighters should be fighting 4 times a year. I think fighters should be fighting 4 times a year. Unless you are properly injured, 4 times a year for me is the like in a way 4 undisputed fights in 1 year. That for me is the reason he's such a great fighter. In a way, that is. 56% of people in fan zone. I look, at the end of the day, I think a lot of people are picking Rolly because they like Rolly. For me, I probably like them the same amount. I don't particularly have a favorite when it becomes Rolly versus Teo, which probably gives me a good basis of making a emotionless, you know, judgment of how the fight goes. You know, I don't really have my hat in either corner. I'm fairly neutral to it. Whereas, like when it was Rolly versus Ryan, I was like heavily Ryan because I'm just a fan of Ryan Garcia. Um, but for this fight here, I love and hate them both the same amount. And for me, Teofimo Lopez should win this fight. Let me know what you guys think. I think most of you said Rolly by KO, and like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if that's just a little bit of love towards the Rolly because he's a very lovable character. He's just like your favorite cartoon character, Rolly Romero. Like he is just he is a man of his own. Like he is just there is nobody quite like Rolly Romero. You want to hear a fun fact about Jimmy Lennon Jr. that you might not know? You might not. You might not. You might not know. But Jimmy Lennon Jr.'s dad is actually the guy that's the ring announcer in Rocky. True story. If you ever watch the Rocky movies and you see the announcer, it's Jimmy Lennon Jr.'s dad, Jimmy Lennon Sr. Which I always think's cool. Watch that fucking movie a million fucking times. So you reckon this crowd is more pro Teo or more pro Rolly? I'm probably saying it's more pro Teo. Maybe. Did you guys watch George Liddard this morning? That's the one event I didn't watch today. I believe Liddard won by stoppage. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure Liddard won by stoppage. I'm going to rewatch the fight anyway tonight, so it doesn't really matter. But the fucker's held the belt for 14 months, and this is his first defense of the title. Ridiculous, in my opinion. Ridiculous. But hey, the world we live in. It's the world we live in. All right, Rolly Romero, Teofimo Lopez, here we fucking go. Here we go. My prediction, Teofimo Lopez by unanimous decision. And you know what? I'm gonna make an even bolder prediction. I reckon Teofimo Lopez drops Rolly Romero at some point in this fight. There we go. There's my bold one. Because UD is not that bold, but I reckon he drops him. And it's probably a counter shot. All right, we are underway. Rolly Romero versus Teofimo Lopez. WBA welterweight world title up for grabs. 12 rounds of action. I like these pants by Rolly. I'm surprised they're wearing such similar color trunks though. They're almost both going with this white and gold theme. You know what I love about a Rolly fight? The noises he makes. He's got the most fucking unique noises of throwing punches. Left hook there from Rolly Romero, but it gets blocked by Teofimo Lopez. Both fighters just almost feeling each other out. Rolly Romero trying to take advantage of that low lead hand from Teofimo Lopez, but Teofimo Lopez alert to it and steps back, avoiding the right hand. Counter right hand there from Teofimo Lopez misses as Rolly Romero goes downstairs with a jab. All right, you remember how I asked who's got the crowd tonight? It's Rolly Romero. You can hear him chanting Rolly from the crowd. So he's got the lion's share of the crowd. Very much a feeling out round. Halfway through it, ultimately neither has really done anything. So I'm probably tilting towards Teofimo Lopez so far. I think he's just thrown a few more punches. Rolly Romero's exploded a few times, but he missed them all. So you're just sort of favoring that counter. A 1-2 there misses from Teofimo Lopez, but Teofimo Lopez controlling the center of the ring. A very, very slow start to this fight by both guys. I thought that we'd see a little bit of dynamism from one of them. Like you saw how Teofimo Lopez come running out of the blocks against George Gambosis, or how Rolly Romero came charging out of the blocks against Ryan Garcia and Tank. Ooh, left hook there from Rolly Romero, probably the best punch of this first round. All right, pretty pretty even first round, but I think Teofimo Lopez has just landed the better shots. He landed a few good jabs, a good counter right. I'd give the first round to Teofimo Lopez. Bit weird. Bit weird that corner talking. Salas was talking to Rolly Romero, but wasn't really getting much back from Rolly. So we'll have to see what's going on there. Rolly almost just staring towards the Teofimo Lopez corner. Look, I think Salas is a very, very good coach. Bit of a low hook there from Teofimo Lopez. Real big right hand there did Rolly, but it almost landed on the chest of Teofimo Lopez. Double jab there from Rolly as he circles to his left. Teofimo Lopez pushing forward with a few good jabs. Rolly going over the top with a left hook. Double jab there from Teofimo Lopez. Oh, counter left hook there. Just misses from Rolly Romero. Then he goes over the top with the right hand. Both punches miss though. Oh, good straight right there from Teofimo Lopez. Rolly very tentative, very, very back foot heavy today. Not a lot of front foot aggression. He's almost waiting for that counter like there. Double jab there, misses from Teofimo Lopez. Sneaky little left hook there from Rolly. Good body work there from Teo. Yeah, I'm a bit surprised with the output from Rolly Romero in this fight so far. Good jab there from Rolly. I think another 10-9 for Lopez. It's not overwhelming amounts of activity, but he's definitely winning. I'm intrigued to hear what this corner's telling Teo. Telling him to keep his right hand up and combinations. Touching with the jab. Trying to time you with his right hand. And he's telling him to keep the guard up, catch punches. Rolly's got the weirdest jab, eh? Like he tries, like he's almost teabagging every time he throws a jab. Exchanging jabs. Double up the jab there from Teo, once to the body, once upstairs. Oh, good catch and counter there from Teo. Catches the left hook, goes with his own right. Just misses though. Right hand over the top there from Teo, misses. Big left hook there, misses from Rolly again. Right into the body there from Teo. Rolly's like biting on every single feint at the moment. He did the same thing against Tank though, so you know when you like watch an opening round and they're just both feeling each other out? Well, we've now seen 3 of those. We have now seen 3 of those. Fuck, did I forget to start the timer? Apologies, everyone. Right to the body there from Teo. It's a chess match. It's even, but sorry. We're about to go into the fourth. Quick start there from Teofimo Lopez come round 4. Teofimo Lopez is winning this fight without taking any risks. That's so far what's happening. Teofimo Lopez is tapping him, not taking any risks. And the reason it's so boring is because Teofimo Lopez isn't taking any risks, and Rolly is waiting for Teofimo Lopez to take that risk before he capitalizes. So it's almost two guys waiting on the other person, but neither one actually starting. You know what I mean? Why the fuck has the DAZN sound just died? That's great stuff. I love when you pay for like fucking a fight and they can't even fix the fucking audio. Rolly over the top with a right hand. So it's such an odd tactic. I don't think this is not a game plan for me that Rolly Romero is good at. For me, Rolly Romero is at his best when he's being aggressive, when he's pushing you back, when he's throwing his big hands. At the moment, he's just waiting around, and being picked off from Teo. And Teo's so skillful that he is just picking him off. Good crisp right hand there from Teofimo Lopez that lands on Rolly. And you know what? It's once again Teofimo Lopez from the Matrix. Like Rolly is just, I don't know. Teo doesn't really have to do a lot. Like Teo's winning this fight without doing a lot. He's just picking him off. Oh, good left hand though from Rolly. The best punch of the fight from him. A counter left hand. And that's why Teo Senior was telling Teofimo Lopez to keep that right hand up. Rolly finally lands that punch. Is it enough to snatch this round? I don't know. But threw it again. And then a right to the body. A better end to the round by Rolly Romero. Offered something in the back end of that round. Well, I don't know if it was enough, though, to actually garner him the round, though, unfortunately. But it was better that he threw something. And I think if he can, keep that activity up, it'll go a long way. Round 5. Rolly's in a world of his fucking own. Oh, big right hand there from Rolly, though. Just misses. Left hook, though, that lands from Rolly. Not a lot of power on it, but precise. Kind of left hand there from Teo. I'd be interested to see what the CompuBox stats are, because Rolly Romero, I'd be surprised if he's thrown more than fucking 50. Oh, here. Perfect fucking time. Jabs landed and power landed. Romero's landed 21 punches, which is 18% accuracy. So times that by 5. What, they reckon he's thrown 100 punches, landed 20. Oh, good left hand, though, from Rolly. And it's actually busted the face of Teofimo Lopez. Blood's pouring from the right eye of Teofimo Lopez after that check left hook from Rolly Romero. And then he follows it up with another one. Misses the third punch, though. And with a minute left, this fight has changed. And a big right hand almost drops Teofimo Lopez. Rolly Romero pressing on now. He's cut his eye. He's wobbled him. Rolly's got him up against the... All right, no knockdown. But Teofimo Lopez does hit the floor. Rolly Romero applying a lot of pressure, and Teofimo Lopez does look hurt. Eye bleeding, legs wobbly, very, very cautious. And this fight has taken a very, very quick turn. You guys might be right with this fucking Rolly Romero KO victory. Teofimo Lopez smiling, though. Lots of blood pouring from the right side of Teofimo Lopez's face. And that's why Senior was telling Teo to keep that right hand up, because that was the start of it. But Teofimo Lopez, he's coming back. Blood everywhere. Teofimo Lopez has an opportunity here as Rolly Romero starts letting his hands fly to land a counter shot of his own. But a very, very, very good round by Rolly Romero that sees him not only hurt Teofimo Lopez, but also cut the eye of Teofimo Lopez. And we have a fight, guys. We have a fight. It took a few rounds to get started. It took a few rounds, but we are here. Teofimo Lopez smiling in the corner. Senior telling him we needed this. I don't know whether we needed him getting cut. I think that's probably a bold move. Was that always the plan? Round 5 we get cut because that's what we need. Look at that. Beautiful right hand, and you could see it just takes the feet from Teofimo Lopez. Follows it up with a left hook. I want to say that left hook that busted the eye because you could see it cut open straight away. Right, round 6. Let's see how this one goes. Teofimo Lopez very, very lucky to escape the 5th round without being knocked to the floor. But Teofimo Lopez stepping forward. He was smiling a lot in the corner, so he might be not that hurt, but that right hand, it definitely wobbled him. It definitely half folded him. Rolly Romero. It's a unique game plan for Rolly Romero, but it might just garner him the KO. I still think he needs to be a little bit more active than he was the first 3 rounds. But that, look at that. Counter left hook again from Rolly Romero, but Teofimo Lopez comes back with a nice right hook to the body. The cut's not in a dreadful place. It's sort of the side of the eye here. So most of the blood's dripping down instead of it being here and dripping in. Either way, you don't really want to be cut. But 6 rounds in, we're almost a minute and a half into the 6th. Good work there from Teo, being aggressive, but none of those punches actually landing. Double jab there from Teofimo Lopez. Rolly Romero once again waiting, a right hook to the body from Teofimo Lopez. Rolly misses another left hook. He's just trying to time Teofimo Lopez as he comes in. Good right hand there from Teo. Follows it up with a left hook. Rolly comes back with a big right hand but misses. Both exchange a jab. Rolly probably landed the better jab then. Left hook to the body there. Misses from Teofimo Lopez. Big left hook from Rolly Romero, misses as well. He's still trying to time Teo as he comes on in. Teo using nice jabs to the body there. Right hand misses from Rolly. He's throwing it from a mile out. Double jab to the body, followed by a right hook to the body from Teo as Rolly comes back with a left hook. Teo almost slipping over as he throws a jab then. 15 seconds left of the 6th. Good comeback round from Teofimo Lopez. Probably poor activity from Rolly to allow Teofimo Lopez to come back the way he's done. Yeah, not the round that I expected to see from Rolly then. As we progress into the second half of the fight. What a round. Round 5. What a round. Teofimo Lopez, not a big fan of this welterweight power. Cut and wobbled in that 5th. Rolly's like in another world in this corner, eh? Sales keeps trying to talk to him, and Rolly's like not wanting a fucking bar of it. Whether he's listening and he's just not giving the eye contact, I don't know, but he seems to be really hard to talk to in the corner. All right, round 7. We are underway. I want to see a bit more activity from Rolly. Such a brilliant 5th round and then a poor 6th round. For me, he actually dropped the 6th round. For me, I still have it Lopez up 5 rounds to 1. Granted, that 1 round, Rolly almost drops him, but he didn't drop him, so it wasn't a 10-8. Double jab there from Teofimo Lopez. Ooh. Good left hook there from Rolly as Teo comes in. Well, you know what? Rolly did basically the exact same thing when he dropped Ryan Garcia. He drops Ryan Garcia, and then the next 2 rounds he drops from being inactive. And he's almost done the same thing here. And I don't understand why. You've hurt your opponent, right? Try and capitalize. Don't let them get back in the groove. Don't let them get their feet back under him. Oh, big right hand there from Teo, but Rolly comes back with his own right hand. Good exchange there from both fighters. Jab to the body there from Teo. Left hook there from Rolly. And then a jab to the body from Rolly as well. Teofimo Lopez almost covering up the body after that jab. Big overhand right from Rolly Romero, misses by a mile. Few jabs in a row there from Teofimo Lopez as he's trying to close the distance. Rolly Romero circling the ring. It's such an odd game plan from Rolly, and I can't quite work it out. Because for me, he's not winning this round. Teo closing the distance, ripping a few times to the body. I don't know if these these exchanges are really what Teofimo Lopez needs. I think he's doing better winning this fight the way he is. Obviously, he wants the style points of trying to knock out Rolly. Left hook there from Teo. Rolly circles around the ring to his left. Does look like Teo's here to fight, and Rolly's just here to counter. I don't know. I don't understand the game plan by Rolly. I just don't get it. Like, look at this by Rolly. He's just running away and running away and running away. And look at Teo ripping a few shots to the body, and then Rolly's not offering any. It's odd. There's that left hook from Rolly. That's about all that he's doing. Good rip to the body there from Teo. Comes in with a left hook. They both eat a left hook, but I think Rolly Romero actually lends the better left hook at the back end of that round. But unfortunately, you don't win a round off one shot, especially one that you both exchange, especially one that half the judges might not have seen. Senior telling Teofimo Lopez that he's winning every single round, but he needs to hit him more. I don't know about that. Teofimo Lopez is winning it clearly, and Rolly Romero is running away a lot. Anyway. Where's my fucking scoreboard? Round 8, here we go. And I've given it every single round to Teofimo Lopez except one. And we all know what round that was. We all know what. Was that round 4? Round 4? English round. Few body shots to Rolly Romero, but the referee's calling them low. Or telling him, keep them up. Another right to the body from Teo. Teo's invested to the body quite well. Jab upstairs, though, this time from Teo. Rolly goes left hook to the body this time. Oh, left hook there from Teo. Lands cleanly on the chin of Rolly Romero. Teo doubles up the jab. Rolly Romero, once again, offering just nothing. I just can't work it out. It's just odd from Rolly Romero. It's lack of activity. It's lack of hunger almost. It's just waiting for something to happen rather than going out and getting it. And it worked once, but we could go another 4 rounds and it not work again, and all of a sudden you've lost this fight 11 rounds to 1. Obviously, we're not going to know that till the end of the fight. If he knocks him out in the next round, then hey, all of this is for fucking nothing. But at the moment, if it keeps going along this trend, Rolly's just going to be shut out in this fight. He's going to have one opportunity, didn't capitalize on it, and tomorrow he's going to wake up regretting the way that he's fought this fight. And I think that's what we're going to see. And whether this is instruction from Salas, whether this is Rolly just doing Rolly, I don't know. Some work there from Teofimo Lopez with a good catch and counter. Big right hand there, misses from Teo, but the left hook lands. 14 seconds left to this round. It's been another Teofimo Lopez round. Rolly might have threw like 3 punches. Honestly, it's not even exaggeration. That is proper 100%. I can't really remember Rolly Romero throwing fuck all in that round. Never mind a proper power shot. Like, I'm dumbfounded by the game plan here employed by Rolly Romero. This is a game plan to land one clean shot and end the fight. And if that one shot doesn't come, well, then you've been shut out. If it does come, then hey, we're all going to be like, fair enough. That was the game plan. It's worked out. But that's a big but at the moment, because at the moment, what I'm looking at is, you know, 7 rounds to 7 rounds to 1. All right, we're about to get underway in the 9th round. Round 9 underway. I like the game plan from Teo. I think Teo is boxing very, very well. This is the type of boxing exhibition that I expected to see from Teo. This is why I said he'd win by a UD. The fight's almost kind of reminding me of Shakur versus Teo, but it's now Teo doing the Shakur. Obviously not to that level, but it's the similar type of shutout. It's this, Ryan Garcia versus Barrios shutout. It's not the most enjoyable watch. You never go back to watch these fights, but you do everything that you need to do to win it. And at the end of the day, that's what they're in there to do. Us as fans, us who want to be entertained, us who want to see blood and power and brutality and war, aren't going to be overly happy. But Rolly Romero really not offering a whole lot. Teo's able to dictate the pace, and it's not even a high pace. It's just a leisurely pace like that. He doesn't have to risk anything, and he can win the rounds. The Teo chants are starting to go around the ring. Double jab there from Teo. Like Rolly's not even now throwing. Like for the first half of the fight, I just it's so strange. Honestly, I'm mind boggled. I can't work it out. I just it's it's nothing. There's not even any aggression. Like when he was fighting Tank, I know he loses, but there was a bit of an aggression. Whether there's some PTSD there or not, I don't know. It's very similar to what he did after he dropped Ryan Garcia. I don't know, guys. Just wanted a little bit more. To be honest, I thought we'd see a little bit more in this fight. Tell you what, back in a moment. All right, sorry, I'm back. Because the round started, it has not. It has now. All right, Let's see if Rolly wants to, I don't know, wake up in this round. Because he's running out of time. He's got 9 minutes now to get a knockout. Because for me, my scorecard personally, whatever, if he wins every round and gets a knockout in each, that would equal that he gets, a jump of 6. A jump of 6 on that equals 88. That's not enough, is it? That's not enough. If my maths is correct, that's still not enough. So it is now knockout time. Look, ultimately, if you get 3 knockdowns in 3 rounds, you're probably going to fucking win by knockout anyway. But it's the fuck. I'm a bit disappointed in what we've seen from Rolly Romero. Like, people are coming into this fight thinking Rolly was going to win a decision. Teo's doing what I thought Teo would do. I just thought Rolly would let his hands fly a little bit more. There's an odd exchange like we just saw then. But Teofimo Lopez has been very, very responsible. He's doing the bare minimum that he needs to do, and it's working. And he's doing the bare minimum because he's not being pushed by Rolly Romero to do anything other than the bare minimum. Like, look at that. He's even pressing the action more than what Rolly is, and Rolly's the one that should be chasing this fight. Teofimo Lopez could run around for the next 9 minutes and win this fight by a couple of rounds still. But Teo wants to come in and prove how good he is, and I respect that from him, especially after what happened against Shakur. And you got to give credit to Teo because once again he's gotten hurt, but he's carried on. You know, he's gotten dropped before, he's carried on. He's gotten hurt early in this fight, and he's carried on. And like, where's the fucking from Rolly Romero? Look at that right hand there from Teofimo Lopez over the top. "40 seconds left. That punch definitely landed quite well on the top of the head of Rolly Romero. But once again, I'm saying, where's the Rolly Romero? I haven't heard those fucking sound effects once tonight. And I don't think that's very good because I think we see and hear that when Rolly's fighting well and Rolly's not fighting well. I don't know what Rolly's doing. Rolly's in a world of his own. Big right hand there misses from Rolly Romero as Teofimo Lopez counters with his own right. Teofimo Lopez stalking his prey here. Rolly Romero holding on. Bang, end of the round. If anybody's got any sort of objections to my scorecard, please let me know. But I think I've scored this pretty fucking right through 10. Senior telling Teo to press on the action because they've got him here. Might have a case. He might have a case. This right hand, beautiful. Beautiful. Set up with that jab over the top of the right hand. Look at that. Oh shit, let me start the timer. Rolly Romero just needs. I don't know what Rolly Romero is waiting for. Honestly, I have no idea. Teofimo Lopez rips right to the body. Comes over the top with the left hook, but it misses. Left jab there from Teo. Jab to the body there from Rolly, but misses. So many of these fights, right? so many of these fights, and I might even talk about it a bit more in my post-fight reaction. Post-fight reaction is, um, so many of these fights disappoint. So many of these fights that we build up disappoint. Like, I think you got to give so much credit to what Boots, Ennis, and Xander Zayas threw up in that fight. Because that was a big hyped up fight that actually delivered. And so many of these fights, they don't. So, like, this hasn't been what everybody wanted it to be. Ryan Garcia Maris Barris was good, but I don't think it was the fight that we wanted. Shakur versus Teo was lopsided. It wasn't really the fight that we wanted. Ryan Broly, all of these fights, so many of them aren't what we want them to be. A minute left. It's been another sort of nothing round. Teofimo Lopez stalking after him, doing the better punches, but not really needing to do a lot. Trading jabs there. 1-2 to the body there from Teofimo Lopez. Tries to throw the right over the top, but misses. Broly with a jab that misses. Teofimo Lopez still pushing on the action. Oh, right over the top. Lands from Teo, though. 30 seconds left of this 11th round. The preliminary round. One more round to go. As long as Teo doesn't get knocked out, he's won this fight by a landslide. He's dropped one round in my scorecard. Depending on how you scored the very first round, he might have dropped two. But for me, I gave it the first round to Teo. Oh, gets caught with a left hand though, does Teofimo Lopez, but Teofimo Lopez comes straight back at Rolly, landing a few punches of his own. I don't know whether that one punch wins Rolly the round though, if I'm being completely honest with you. So I'm still giving it to Teo. 109 to 100. It's going to be a fucking 119-10 9. Yeah, 109. I don't know why that took me so hard to fucking count. All I have to do is add 9 to 100. Overthinking it. All right. I don't know about you guys, but I gotta prepare my call out. I'll fight Teofimo Lopez next. I couldn't possibly do worse than Rolly has done tonight, surely. At least I'll go out in the first round, all guns blazing. Look at that fucking leaping right hand. It was actually just Teo that knocked himself off balance. There wasn't even a punch landed there by Rolly. All right, the 12th and final round. Let me actually add to, so we are in the 12th and final round. Can we see some excitement? Can we see some jeopardy? Can we see something that compromises the integrity of the scorecard? Probably not. The fight is fucking done. It is not changing. It is Rolly Romero losing by either 11 or 10 rounds. I can't work out the game plan. Rolly Romero, tomorrow when you wake up and you watch this fight, you're going to be fucking hating yourself, which is a shame because I think everybody was so pumped to see this fight be a competitive fight. And for whatever reason, Rolly Romero came in on a fucking different spaceship and everything's just been weird all night. I just don't know. Teofimo Lopez has been electric and dynamic, but he's done the bare minimum that he's needed to do. He hasn't had to risk anything to win it. Got cut, got hurt, moved on. Rolly didn't capitalize, and I guess that's about the best way to sum up this fight. Anyway, misses a big left hook there, does Rolly Romero. Make sure you guys are all subscribed and check out my post-fight reaction after this. I'll probably end the stream quite quickly as soon as we hear the scorecards. Not that there's going to be any surprises there. It'll just be formalities to make sure. I've seen some fucking ridiculous things in the world of boxing scoring, but there couldn't be any other decision apart from Teofimo Lopez. For me, 11 rounds to 1 could be 10 to 2 depending on how you scored the first. But I very much doubt that you gave Teofimo Lopez less than 10, if I'm being honest. And even this round, he's still hunting him down. He's still peppering him with shots. Teofimo Lopez is the one looking for that big shot. And if Rolly Romero wasn't running away for most of this night, Teofimo Lopez might have actually landed it. But looks like another correct prediction by me. A unanimous decision victory for Teofimo Lopez. Dominance, outskills him. And he does basically what he did in the sparring session. And I've got the receipts. Oh, big right hand there from Teo. I think it just misses. And Rolly's running away. I don't know what Rolly's doing. Rolly's just a different animal. All right, fight over. 12 completed rounds. 119 to 109 in my professional opinion. Much as I am a professional, that is my professional opinion. Anybody have a different scorecard to me? I doubt it. I think that's basically what we saw in that fight. So weird. So weird from Rolly Romero. I don't even know what to say. What do we want to see from Teofimo Lopez going forward? What fight at welterweight do we want to see Teo in? Is it Devin? Is it Keyshawn? Is it Ryan? Is it somebody else? Is it Paro? Who do we want to see Teofimo Lopez fight next? There's plenty of options, obviously. The welterweight division is stacked. Big names, big money, plenty of them. Which one do we want to see? Which one do we want to see? Fuck, next weekend. Moses Italma versus Filip Hrgović. The big boys. Exciting. Very exciting. But let's make this fucker official. It shouldn't take long to count those scorecards up. Really. Are there going to be any surprises? No. I thought Teofimo looked quite good. Am I wrong? Am I wrong for thinking Teo looked quite good? What else did we want him to do? Anyway. The official scorecards are about to be read. All right, here they are. A majority decision. What? 114, 114, a draw. Are you on fucking drugs? $116, $112, and I think it was $115, $113. And the new Teofimo. Am I on fucking drugs or are they on fucking drugs? Am I on fucking drugs? What the fuck did we just see with those scorecards? On a real, what the fuck did we just see with those scorecards? Anyway, guys, I'm going to go make my pre-record videos. If you are new, please do like the video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you check out the content coming out this week and, of course, this post-fight reaction. Those scorecards were